Hello guys, and welcome back to a new type of thing on the channel. I couldn't really call this a video because it's going to be kind of like a podcast where I just talk about things that are on my mind, like YouTube or football. Maybe in the future, if any guests want to come on and we talk about a certain subject, then we can do that as well. But I really like listening to podcasts and listening to what people say, so I thought I'd do this as kind of an extra video. It's not necessarily going to be, something where I do it as a daily upload or like it's going to take over. It will just be an extra video on top of what I already upload. And today, what you can see in the background is just a random background that I made on Photoshop. The best thing to do, guys, is really the way that I listen to podcasts. I do something else, so just put this in the background or whatever. Listen to me if you want, and if you don't, that's fine. I don't expect these videos to do very well, but it gives me a chance to really talk to you guys about real life stuff and like how YouTube's going. So today, I wanted to talk about the future of FIFA 16 and the future of career mode in general on YouTube and how it works, because it's changing all the time. The way that smaller channels, I say under 250k subscribers, are going to have to change the way that they go about doing their videos, especially with career mode, because career mode's never been that popular on YouTube. And what I do want to say also is that this isn't meant to be a video like ranting. It's not me ranting, it's just me giving my opinions on how I feel about YouTube and football and everything like that. So what I want to start by saying is FIFA 16 on YouTube the past year, especially this year, it's been tough. It's been tough for a lot of channels. Like people like Chesnoid and Docs especially are two people that I follow quite closely on social media, and I watch a lot of their videos, and they always say like how difficult it is, and it's so true. Like especially for them guys, I feel bad for them because their videos are some of the best in the community in my opinion, and they don't get the support that they deserve. Now that directly corresponds with everything else that I want to say is that I, as a channel with 600 subscribers, it's tough. I've been doing YouTube now for about 3 years nearly, and to only have 600 subscribers, a lot of you would consider that to be a bit of a fail. And for me, it's always been just about doing what I love, but it's come to a point now where I want to grow the channel. I want this channel to do as well as possible, and to grow my channel now, the way that we have to do stuff is a lot different. Longer series are not as popular anymore. Back in the day, guys, we'd obviously do the videos where I would just label them 1 to whatever, so 1 to 100 or whatever, and I would just upload and upload and upload and upload, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You guys know how it works, you've seen it. And you'll notice a lot of people now are labeling stuff different, like Season 1, Episode 1. I think the reason that I'm doing that now is to attract more attention to the channel. When you see Episode 78 or something like that in your sub box, a lot of people just don't want to watch it, they don't care, like they're like, I've already missed a load of the series. But the way I'm doing it now is like Season 1, Episode 1, Season 3, Episode 15 or whatever. And I think it's about capturing the audience. You want people to click on your videos, and I'm not saying that as like clickbait, because I'm not a fan of clickbait, and I don't mind if people do it. Like if you want to use clickbait titles in your videos, that's completely up to you, and that's not something that I'm going to sit here and tell you that that's wrong. But for me personally, I've always liked to keep my channel very real. I like to be very real. I don't want to, if I got offered a sponsorship, just to take it for the sake of it, for the money. I want to always try and be that person that you guys can watch and know that I'm real and I'm doing this because I love it, not because I'm trying to make a lot of money. And I feel some YouTubers maybe give off that image. Whether or not that is true, if that's what they're trying to do or not, that's a different story. But that's kind of the reason that I'm changing up the way I do it. And I think we're going to all have to change. Like smaller channels under 250, maybe 300,000 subscribers need to change the way they're going about it, because bigger channels with career mode are alright. Like people like Spencer Rowan who do career mode, MGH, etc, etc, they do very well because they've already got a large following. But for the smaller guys, it's real hard, and career mode is just not as popular as it used to be. Like last year, the views were pretty good on career mode. A lot of people grew really well. I remember watching Chesnoid at the start of FIFA 15. I think he had about 20k subs. The guy's now on about 100 and something. I think he's on 140,000 maybe, something like that. And it's crazy like how this year just hasn't been as popular, and I think a lot of people just get bored of the longer series. It's back to the days on YouTube where the short kind of like 5-minute videos do very well, stuff like Strip FIFA or FUT Draft videos do very well. But for us guys in the career mode community who just want to upload career mode because we enjoy it, it's changing a lot, and it's difficult, man. Like it's difficult to know what to do to make sure your channel survives, because although YouTube for me isn't a job and it's not something that I do to make money, I want to make content that will grow the channel. There's no point making videos that are dead, dead videos that aren't going to get views, because there's no point. And I always try my very hardest to bring you guys the best possible content that I possibly can. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a professional at this YouTube game, because by no means am I. I really am not some sort of professional. I've been doing this, although I've been doing it for quite a while, it's not to say that I am the best at this. I'm nowhere near that level, but I always try my hardest with what I do, and I hope that comes across in my videos. But before FIFA 17 comes around, which is not too long away now, as I record this podcast type thing, it's 14th of March. So FIFA 17 will be approaching us very soon, once E3 and that comes around. I think EA are actually doing a separate press conference, and so are Activision. But within the next couple of months, the talk of FIFA 17 will start to come about, and I know a lot of people already are talking about it. And I think for me, the changes I'm going to be making with my channel are making the series a lot shorter. So episodes 1 to 20 is probably going to be the maximum length for a series, and then we'll go into season 2 and we'll change it, because people like watching videos that are labelled like episode 1 or episode 3 or episode 5. I've noticed on the start of my series, the amount of views on the first 5 or 6 episodes is actually incredible, and I want to thank you guys for that. But I think people just get bored after 15 to 20 episodes. People just lose interest in the series, and it's you're uploading it consistently. And although there are people out there who will watch nearly every episode of a series, it's not popular, and it's not worth the time for a lot of us to be putting in hours and hours working on each video to just get not very good support. And I don't want that to come across as I'm trying to grab money from you guys, because I'm not. This isn't my job. If it becomes my job one day, God bless, but very unlikely, and that's not the reason that I do it. But I just wanted to explain it for those of you who don't do YouTube, who don't make content, you don't understand what it's like, and that's understandable, and you may wonder why people are changing. And for me, the biggest change I'm making is the way that I do my videos. Facecam now has become something on YouTube that I think is almost mandatory in 90% of videos that are uploaded. Some people, for example, Lyric, the streamer, he doesn't use a facecam in his streams, and he is one of the most popular streamers on Twitch. He pulls in around 25 to 30,000 concurrent viewers in a live stream, which is actually incredible, and big props to Lyric, because that is some madness. But for a lot of us, facecam is really important, because people come to the channel, they just get bored. Unless you have a very funny personality, and that is displayed through a commentary, which is hard to do a lot of the time. And also with my videos, I like to be quite serious with it, because it's nice to do it professionally. I'm not someone who likes to scream and shout all the time, although if you watch my latest episode, my Leeds career mode, episode number 2, I was pretty aggravated in that. But usually I try and keep it very professional. But as I said, people like Lyric can get away with it, and that's fantastic. But for a lot of us, I think facecam is becoming something that you kind of need to do. And I know there are YouTubers out there who are really uncomfortable with the idea of doing facecam, and trust me, I am as well. When I do facecam, I do get paranoid that people are going to say stuff about me. And I know that I'm overweight, I know that I'm not the most handsome bloke in the world, or not handsome at all for that matter, but I do it because I want to entertain you guys. And those of you who are nice and will support someone no matter what they look like. I remember someone said, you're a fat fuck or something, I'm not supporting you anymore. I was like, dude, I don't care. At the end of the day, this is who I am. I can't change who I am just because I haven't got my face on the screen. It's tough, but facecam, I think, is one of the first things that people are starting to realise is actually becoming very imminent. You need to have a facecam in most videos to get decent views, and that sounds like a money whoring technique. It's not. It's just because views are what grows your channels, what gets your channel into the search boxes, search engine optimization, SEO. It's really important as a YouTuber to try and always maximize your search results, because you want your videos to be watched. You're uploading these videos, you're spending all this time making these videos, you want to be able to, for people to search them. So that's the first thing I think that is really important, is that facecam is becoming more and more important. And I know a lot of you aren't comfortable with doing facecam, and that's fine. You just have to work harder in other aspects. But for me, I like doing facecam. I think it makes the video more personal. You guys can start to hopefully watch my channel for me as a person, rather than just for what I'm uploading, because a lot of people I look at my search results, like there's someone on YouTube where you can see basically what people search for when they come to my channel, and most of it is like FIFA 16 career mode, FIFA 16 Arsenal career mode, Aston Villa career mode, Valencia career mode, blah 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 blah. And that's great that people come for that, but I want people to come to my channel not only just for that, but for me as a person, like because they like me or they like how I make my videos and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what the sidemen do, I think. Like, if you look at, like, Vic used to do a lot of commentaries just on Call of Duty, like everyone did, like montages, and people would most likely come to his channel just for that. But now all the sidemen do it. They have face cams in their videos, and I typically watch the sidemen for who they are. I watch, like, Vic and Josh and Simon and all them people because of them, not because of what they upload a lot of the time. I watch it because of their personalities, of how funny they are, and how they make pretty much any game really enjoyable to watch. Like some of the stuff I've watched with Simon and Josh random games is so funny. I wouldn't just watch that if someone just did a random commentary on it. Like, I wouldn't be interested, but the way they do it is incredible. And I think that shows that people want personality, they want funny. You know, people like KSI do it amazingly, where people watch KSI for KSI. They don't watch him because he uploads FIFA videos, I don't think. I think a lot of his audience watch him because he's a funny bloke and he's got a really good sense of humour. And that's what I kind of want my channel to be looked at. I want people to think, oh, we're going to watch PhD because he makes really funny videos and his videos are good and I like his personality, not because necessarily what he's doing. But I think most people now 100% just watch my stuff for what I make, like for the actual content I put out, not for me, which kind of sucks because I've always wanted to make my YouTube channel about me. And it's hard because I don't want to go into like too much personal life. I don't want to do daily vlogs because I don't do anything interesting, but that's one thing, like, that YouTube needs to be about yourself rather than what you're uploading, I think, to maximise viewership, which is the best thing, like, getting new viewers into the channel and stuff like that. That's the main reason I do it, is just to grow as big as I possibly can and to entertain as many people as I possibly can on a daily basis, not to make money. I don't care really too much about that. Like, if that ever happens, as I said earlier in a commentary, God bless. But that, guys, is the main kind of thing I wanted to talk about. I don't actually know if I've made any sense. I feel like I'm just rambling, and if anyone's still watching at this point, let me know. Be like, I'm 12.5 minutes in, I'm still watching. Props to you, because this is kind of very random, and I don't expect a lot of you to want to watch it. But secondly, it's the length of the series. As I said earlier, people don't want to watch long series anymore. It sucks, and I think, you know, back in the day, I remember when, like, Nepenthes used to upload a lot of Runa Randomer and stuff, and that stuff was godly. Like, I loved it. I went back about in the summer of last year, so August 2015 sort of time, and I watched about 20 Runa Randomers in like a couple of nights because I was so addicted to it. And I loved watching people just sit down and talk, and I'm a big fan of that. Like, I'm a big fan of Spencer Rowan's podcast that he's recently just finished season 1 of it. I'm not too sure when that's back. If by some miracle Spencer ever watches this video, man, you need to get that podcast back uploaded, because I used to watch that every single week. I used to be so excited for that. I'd be more excited for that than I would for any other video, because I love just listening to people voice their opinions. I'm that sort of person that can really, like, listen to someone like that. And I find some of my videos, I've watched some of my videos back, and I've actually genuinely watched, like, all of them. Like, some of my live comments on FIFA, say for episode 50, I've actually gone back and watched all of that. But I'm in the what am I trying to say? I am in a minority with that, because a lot of people don't want to watch or listen to someone talk for half an hour about some real life topic. I just don't think that's popular anymore, which does suck, because it's something that I really like doing, and I feel like it's hard for me as a YouTuber because I want to upload stuff like that all the time, but stuff like this isn't going to get many views. I imagine this might not even get 10 views, you know. It's something that's just quite boring for a lot of people, because it's just like you click on this video and you're not actually getting a video, you're just getting a commentary where I'm just sitting here talking about feelings or about whatever. And this could be interesting, guys. Like, if you want me to talk about more stuff, let me know, like a topic that you'd like me to talk about in depth, rather than having to worry about playing a game at the same time. I just sit here and talk to the mic. And as I said, I do want to get more people on here. Like, if anyone wants to come on here and talk with me about stuff, if I started to get to know another YouTuber who's like, yo, can I come on your podcast? I'd be like, yeah, dude, like, that'd be sick. Because it'd be really fun to get other people in on this, and not to just talk about YouTube, but to talk about football, because I'm a big football fan, and something I will touch on now is Arsenal. So that's kind of the first bit of the podcast over. I'm going to do this for about half an hour, I think, and I want to talk about Arsenal in general, but so this will be like the future of FIFA 16 on YouTube and Arsenal's current form. something like that. We are doing bad right now, and yeah, but hopefully, before we move on to that, basically stuff's just changing, and I hope that made sense, sort of, for the past 15 odd minutes of how I think stuff's changing and how we're going to have to change our channels. But what I wanted to talk about was Arsenal, and in particular Arsene Wenger, because a lot of people right now are going crazy on the Twitterings, and I'm going to go on BBC Sport right now in the middle of this just to check some stuff so I know what I'm saying, and I'm not, making some absolute crap up to you guys, and you're thinking, what the hell is this going about? So, obviously, Arsenal lost at the weekend. We lost to Watford 2-0 in the FA Cup. Our FA Cup dreams are completely over now, which absolutely sucks. But I'm not someone who's in that Wenger out boat. I'm really not. Currently we are in third place, 1 point in front of Manchester City and 6 points behind Tottenham. So, with 9 games left currently, there is still a chance that we could do well. Like, obviously, results can still go in our way, but I think we fucked up. Like, West Ham being in 5th, by the way, is mental. But I was really disappointed that weekend because we lost 2-0 to Watford, which, no disrespect to Watford as a team. They're a good team, right? But it's something, I don't know, it's just one of them things. Like, Watford and Arsenal, we should have beaten them. It was bad performance from us, and I was really disappointed with it. And what I want to say also is, like, that Arsene Wenger, I love the guy. Like, he's been in charge my entire life. Like, the guy is almost part of the club. But I think that's part of the problem with a lot of us Arsenal fans, is he's kind of part of the furniture now, and we kind of just don't want to get rid of him. I think personally, if by the end of the season we haven't won the league, which is very unlikely now, we are 8 points behind Leicester, and they have a game in hand like we do, ahead of some of the other people who played at the weekend. If we don't win the league this season, it would have been a failure, and especially if we finish below Tottenham as well. I think that would be awful. No disrespect to Tottenham. As an Arsenal fan, I don't hate Tottenham. Like, I honestly don't. I respect them as a team. I think they've got a great team. And it would be amazing for them if they won the league. But as an Arsenal fan, I don't want them to win the league, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if we finish, say, 4th and Tottenham finish higher and Leicester win the league, we seriously need to think about getting a new manager. Now, I know there's not many managers available. I think, obviously Jose Mourinho is available. And I don't think he'd join Arsenal, but potentially for the right money, he probably would. And someone like Lowe or Simeone, I think there's a lot of good managers out there we could potentially get. We're a big club, Arsenal. There's no debate in that. And I think if we wanted to bring in a new manager, we could. And we could persuade someone to leave their current club at the end of this season to come and manage Arsenal. And I think, as much as I love Wenger, and honestly, I don't want him to go. Like, I will be heartbroken the day that man leaves as manager, because he's been in charge for so long. He's done so much for the club. But he's getting to that point where he's just not keeping up with today's market in football and the way that football's working with money and contracts, and it makes it hard for an Arsenal fan to support him throughout anything. And I'm not that sort of person who's like, Wenger needs to go, like, in a mean way, but I think his time is coming, and if by the end of the season, he hasn't done anything, it may be time. Or what the board should say to him is, look, we'll give you till January, and we want to see that you are actively trying to improve the team, because Arsene Wenger is a sort of bloke, God bless him, he doesn't want to spend like £80 million on Gareth Bale or Ronaldo or whoever, which is fine, but we don't strengthen enough. In the summer we only signed Petr Cech, and then we signed El Nene in January, which is just not good enough. Like, it's not good enough for a team that are looking to challenge the title. We need a centre-back, we need a striker, we need like a Benzema or someone, or a Cavani, or whoever, and we don't have that. Like, you look at Manchester City, they have Sergio Aguero. You look at Chelsea, they have Diego Costa. You look at Liverpool, they have Daniel Sturridge. You look at Barcelona, they have Messi, Suarez and Neymar. Bayern Munich have Lewandowski. All these big clubs who are challenging for the biggest competitions have a world-class striker at the helm. We don't have that, and that's something that I've wanted for years, and I've been crying out for so long for Arsenal to sign a Benzema or a Cavani. I would personally love to see Karim Benzema at Arsenal. I rate the guy. He's great. I know he's had a bit of a scandal with Valbuena, but providing that gets resolved and whatnot, I think it'd be good. And I think the best thing for me, in my opinion, what I want to see happen at Arsenal is for the board not to sack Arsene Wenger in the summer, but to say to him, look, we're going to give you some money and we need you to actively improve the team. We need you to make signings, you know, make big name signings, not bring in a load of youngsters, not do anything. We need you to bring in big players, because getting knocked out of the Champions League, getting knocked out of the FA Cup, most likely not winning the league title. Like, the chance of Arsenal winning the league title now is absolutely gone. I don't think it's going to happen. We fucked up everything in a matter of 3 weeks. We've got Barca on Wednesday, second leg. We're already 2-0 down. I think that's pretty much our hopes and dreams out of that gone out the window. You know, sorry for that motorbike outside. Irresponsible. Why are you making so much noise, dude? But yeah, I think we've already sealed our fate versus Barcelona. So what I want to see happen is, you know, just for Arsene Wenger to make some signings in the summer. If he doesn't, and by January we're kind of in this predicament again, or what I ideally want, actually, is in the summer for him to be told he has to sign players, he has to improve the squad, and then if by the end of the season it's happened again, or maybe in kind of January time, if not a lot's going on, to say to him, look, I think it's time you probably left. And I think he will leave if we do that badly. I think if we do this badly this season, he may leave anyway. He may just say, look, I hold my hands up, I'm gone. And that would break my heart. Like, I think I'll honestly cry the day Arsene Wenger leaves Arsenal, but I think it is time for him to go. And I love the guy, and I wish he would just sign players. I think if he signed players and he motivated the team more, because that's one of the things I think with Wenger, he doesn't motivate the players enough sometimes, and that's the reason that we end up having these awful results. You know, we go on a run of like 5 or 6 games, people are going crazy, like, oh my god, Arsenal are finally changing, when we bring Sanchez and Ozil in, and then a couple of games later we're losing games left, right and centre, we're dropping points in the league, we're getting knocked out of the Champions League. To be honest, we did get an unlucky draw with Barcelona, but even still we should have, you know, that is a different story in itself, because I think Barcelona are the best team in the world, and for us to beat them is very unlikely, but it's a shame that we just seem to crumble so easily. And, you know, to get knocked out of the FA Cup by Watford, as I said, no disrespect to Watford in the slightest, but that is unacceptable. And that's my feelings with the Wenger situation. I'm not necessarily saying he should be sacked. I just think we need to reevaluate what we're going to do with a guy, whether or not he can lead us to glory, or whether or not his time is up and for him to leave before he tarnishes his reputation that he has at Arsenal. Because for the last kind of like 5 years, Arsene Wenger has been going quite downhill, and it's a shame to see. Obviously the guy's getting older, and he's much more about signing players on a cheap and making them brilliant, and it worked for a long time. Like, the team we had in the Invincibles was incredible, but we haven't really replaced players like Van Persie and Nasri and all these good players. I mean, Nasri's different because Nasri's a twat and a lesbian, but we haven't really replaced Van Persie yet, and that's been a long time. That's like 3 years ago that he left, and we are still yet to replace him, which is really disappointing, and it's something that I think needs to be addressed, that Arsene Wenger needs to pull his finger out a little bit in the transfer market and start making some signings, because I want him to manage Arsenal forever. Like, if he could, I'd love him to be there forever, but I think the board needs to just have a chat with him and say, look, you know, this is how it is. We as a club need to move forward, and right now we're not doing that. We're kind of just staying in the same position every season, where we fight for the title till about February, then it comes crashing down on us. We end up finishing 4th by luck, and I think the day that we don't finish 4th is the day Arsene Wenger needs to probably go, because he is getting very lucky. We're lucky to still be in the Champions League for, like, is it 17 years in a row? I think that in itself is somewhat of a miracle as well. So yeah, I love Arsene Wenger, and I don't want him to go, but I think his time may be up. So that, guys, is probably going to be the end of today's kind of like podcast type video type thing. Just wanted to talk about YouTube and Arsenal, because it's two things that have been playing on my mind quite heavily recently. Obviously, you know, YouTube I do it every day, and Arsenal being a huge supporter of the club, it's something that I think about quite a lot. So hopefully that all made sense, and hopefully I didn't just ramble on. I'm probably not going to listen to this back because it's just a lot of talking. And it's for those of you who just want to tab out and kind of just chill, really. So if you want to see this more often, let me know. I'll probably upload a video of this maybe next Thursday. I think this is when I'm going to plan for this video to go live. So I'll probably try and make it a weekly thing where I just talk. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but hopefully it all made sense. It feels like I've been talking to you guys for like an hour, which is awesome, because I love talking to you guys like on a proper level about things, and I think it's nice for you guys as well to kind of get my perspective on certain things on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, that is pretty much it for today's little episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Comments are greatly appreciated. If you've made it this far, let me know, because that is one hell of an achievement in itself. And I will speak to you guys in the next episode of this podcast type thing very soon, or next week. So yeah, peace.